it's Sarah and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This would be part 2 of what to expect in nursing school, so covering everything that you should be expecting in term 2. And this only applies to WGU, but feel free to still stick around. You will be taking 4 classes this term, but if you're like me, then 5. For starters, I am going to be reading off of my iPad because I wrote some notes down just to remember. Those classes that you will be taking this term would be Basic Lab, Health Assessment, Leadership and Professional Growth, Adult Health 1, and Scholarship in Nursing Practice. That's pretty much the order that I took those classes in. So for this video, I will briefly describe my experience with each of those classes and rate them according to difficulty. So let's get started. Up first, we have Basic Lab. I actually have a separate video on how that experience went, so check that out if you're interested. We have to complete a Ticket to Ride prior to going to lab, which is just a series of assignments. It's like a bunch of virtual labs that you have to complete before being accepted. Not difficult. So once you get to lab, you will spend 3 days learning basic nursing skills, and then on the 4th day, you will have your skills check off. Which is the most stressful part in my opinion. I was absolutely terrified for skills check off, and that's just because I'm a nervous girl, so yeah, that's all it was. But it wasn't hard, and you feel prepared. For those 3 days that you learn your skills, you are definitely well equipped and you know those skills. It's just a matter of completing them before the timer runs out. But when it comes to difficulty of that class overall, I would give it a 2 out of 5, and I really enjoyed the experience. Next, we have Health Assessment. The curriculum side of it, I spent a lot of my time refreshing my knowledge on anatomy and physiology. I studied the 11 body systems. I attended 3 to 4 live cohorts and study halls, pretty much because I would never take an exam that I don't feel confident or prepared for. I did a lot of studying. And revisiting A&P is definitely important for this class because if you're able to recognize how each body system functions, then you'll be able to figure out what's wrong, and that will help you navigate the class. I practiced head-to-toe assessments on my husband, my 4-year-old, my 2-year-old, and my Senna. So I needed to make sure that I knew what I was doing. And they will also demonstrate head-to-toe in lab. In terms of this class's difficulty, I'd give it a 2 out of 5 as well. So not too bad. Up next, we have Leadership and Professional Growth. That class was incredibly easy. We had to write an essay for part 1 and an e-portfolio for part 2. I feel like I've always been good at essays since high school because our English teacher in high school traumatized us by making us write like 12-page essays every month, and it prepared me for this time. I finished the class pretty quickly. So in terms of difficulty, 1 out of 5. Up next, we have Adult Health 1. This is your first clinical class. This class requires a ton of studying and critical thinking because now you have to put everything together and problem solve. And it also requires a Ticket to Ride before starting clinical. Once you actually go to clinical, it will be very slow, and that is for a specific reason. So I would say learn what you can and just get your work done. I also have a video on how that experience went. When it comes to our concept map, aka our care plan, oh, I was absolutely irritated. Yeah, that was not a good time. Pretty much because they kept sending it back for the most minute reasons, but our clinical instructor did let us know ahead of time that this would happen. So I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared for how many times it would be sent back. And it was always for something so tiny. And as soon as I would fix that, now it's another issue instead of them just saying what the entire issue was to begin with. It also didn't have... Sorry, I had to stop real quick. My kid was choking on an apple, so yeah, she's good. Where did I stop off at? Oh yeah, so it didn't help with my concept map, the fact that I chose to do my care plan on one of the most sickly residents on my hall. Leave it to me to do that, but hey, I passed. I got it done. It's not all bad because I did enjoy most of the nurses that I worked with. Overall, it was fine. So for adult health, I would give it a calm 3.5 out of 5. And finally, we have scholarship in nursing practice. Oh, this was the extra class that I decided to pick up. And friend, you don't have to pick up this class. And quite frankly, if you're not very strong with time management or you're still working on time managing, then I would suggest waiting until term 4 to actually take this class. Because this class is so tedious, and I cannot stress this enough. It requires so so much researching. You have to research articles, and those articles have to be approved by your instructor before starting the assignment. I didn't know that, so I just chose an article, chose a topic, started working, submitted, and it got sent back because it wasn't the articles that they wanted specifically. Those articles have to be within 5 years. They both have to be, they're like polar opposites, but they both have to be relevant to your topic. It can't be generated in some way by AI. It was just a lot going on. And it's a part 1 and a part 2 to that. I just finished the part 1 and I submitted my part 2 already, and I'm just waiting for that to come back. Once you submit your assignment, it takes 3 days for it to come back for you to get any kind of feedback. So if you decide to take this class in the ending of term 2, you are playing a very risky game. I'm not saying you can't do it, because here I am doing it. It's just a lot of pressure. I actually thrive off of pressure, and I thrive in chaos. I wouldn't recommend putting that extra stress on yourself if you really don't need to. It's not going to progress you in the program any further. You're not going to accelerate if that's what you think. That's not the case. But the only reason I'm taking the class is because I don't want to deal with it later. Everyone's gonna still have to tackle the class, and I'm not going to graduate any sooner because I decided to take this class now. So save yourself the stress. In terms of this class's difficulty, I would give it 3 out of 5. But if I was judging it solely off of tediousness, 12 out of 5. The headache that I'm already getting thinking about this class alone, it was stressful. It was almost as stressful as that damn concept map. And none of it is hard. It's just so many little steps, so much details. I know. And I feel like I have been in nursing school forever, but I've only been in nursing school for like a year and some change. But anyway, those are the classes that you'll be taking in term 2 of nursing school. In addition to this term, which is a fun little disclaimer, I received an invitation to the National Society in the mail yesterday. Here it is. Oh, also, if you guys didn't know, my full name is Zariah, but I just go by Zara because it's less complicated. It's really because I've had like over 95% on each exam that I've taken ever since starting nursing school. I had no idea that my grades were even being watched this closely, so it was very surprising to see that in the mail. However, I just want to give some words of encouragement when it comes to things like this, because I was not always good with school. I was incredibly weak when it came to different topics because I hated school growing up. I really did. It's because I went through my entire grade school, so that is elementary school, middle school, high school, going undiagnosed with dyslexia. And it wasn't until I got to college with my community college and I started doing prerequisites for nursing school that I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and I learned how to help myself. It was really rough because growing up I got made fun of in school. You know, you get called like, oh, you're stupid, you're not passing your classes, you don't know what you're doing. And it was only because I didn't know how to study. The way dyslexia affects me is when I'm reading, my brain will put words that don't belong there. So if my brain thinks that a certain word should be there, it will replace it, or it will take words out. Usually that also affects my short-term memory, so I'll have a difficult time recalling what I just read. And because of that, I have to read something more than twice. If you know someone that is dyslexic, or you yourself, maybe you're not sure, it does not mean you're dumb. And that just means you need to learn a little bit differently. You have to figure out what works for you. And once you figure that out, stick with it. I'm able to solve problems incredibly quickly. It's just reading was my weakness. But if I read out loud, you'll never be able to tell that I'm dyslexic. And that's the weird part about it. Everyone's dyslexia is different. I know what I'm weak at, but I know how to counteract it. And that's just all that it is. But anyway, I do thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell down below so you get notified every single time I upload. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in another video. And I do want to say that we are almost at 700 subscribers, and although I'm not as consistent as I can be, I really do appreciate you guys coming in and supporting, subscribing, watching the videos, and even commenting, because it helps a lot. It means a lot that I know that you guys are watching the videos and it's useful to you in some kind of way. The reason I post these videos is because I want to show you the reality of my life, along with letting you know that I'm a normal person and I struggle just as much. Like, you guys know that. My life is far from perfect. I deal with anxiety, I have panic attacks, I'm a nervous girl, I cry in my bathroom sometimes. Like, these things happen. This is life. And I'm just working through nursing school. The only consistent thing in my life right now is the support from my husband and the fact that my grades are not faltering. I read my Bible, I always pray, and I just try to keep a sound mind. But we're gonna get through it together. Cheers to term 3, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. You will see part 3 of this series as soon as the semester is over. Pray for me and wish me luck. Good night.